Hey, I'm Daniel Champagne, and you're watching Desert TV.
I'm still trying to hold the heart of this dream. It don't glitter like gold, play out on a screen where the story ends. We can just play all over again. And I keep sinking back to when you'd ask me why I won't stray from this track I've been tracing all my time, and I couldn't say. Just felt like the only way. And the longer I go, the more I believe it. The stronger I grow, the more that I need it, and the more that I know, the more that I wonder why. And that's why I still chase the skies. I let you grow up, and I left to find my way through here. Gotten dust in the hands of this highway. I still feel like a child, staring at its first midnight sky. Back when our dreams were for keeps, and every last one of those stars we reached. And I told you I'd go bring them down someday. I guess those thoughts never changed. And the longer I go, the more I believe 19 years old, stars in my eyes, dreams of gold and a couple years to realize life can run fast sometimes. Head to the skies, hand on the highway. I understood why you could never come my way, but you're always on my mind. And I don't wanna let you down, I just wanna let you know that I'm not always gonna be around, but you'll always be home to me. And I don't wanna hold out now, come too far just to go back. I'm not always gonna be around, but you'll always be home to me. Flying over oceans, flying through these small towns, kind of hoping to find someone that can settle me down. Love can run fast sometimes. Oh, and I know what I've done, I know I just keep running. I know where I'm from and I know what I'm becoming. Just know that you're on my mind. Oh, I don't wanna let you down, I just wanna let you know that I'm not always gonna be around, you'll always be home to me. And I don't wanna hold out now, come too far just to go back. I'm not always gonna be around, you'll always be home to me. I don't wanna let you down, I just wanna let you know that I'm not always gonna be around, you'll always be home to me. And I don't wanna hold out now, come too far just to go back. I'm not always gonna be around, you'll always be home to me. Yeah, you'll always be home to me. She said, I'll call you if I calm down. So I wasn't waiting, I wasn't holding my breath. I was counting every reason that I'd seen love go, but so everybody throw your heart down, like we're only just playing, like we don't know where this ends, or like the future's already been written across the night skies. But what if this love's like a supernova? It wouldn't even matter how close I hold you, we'd make it to the stars. And it all turns out we both burned out 1,000 years before now, just like a supernova. We could spend a whole life living in fear about the path we're on. Break the wheel, trying to steer from where our hearts belong. Got lost and now but can't see where we started from. Think we crossed when I arrived, you're walking out the door. The deja vu's a feeling we all know. In life like this, you can't let it be false. So whatever we become, what if this is over? We're on the run, scared that this love's like a supernova. It wouldn't even matter how close I hold you, we'd make it to the stars. And it all turns out we both burned out 1,000 years before now. And every dream that I tried to show you, every promise we'd say the same when we get older, wouldn't matter when it all turns out we both burned out 1,000 years before now, just like a supernova. Tell me how far can be seen. But if this was all just make-believe, but if this was only in my dreams, but if this was never meant to be, and what if this love's like a supernova? Wouldn't even matter how close I hold you, make it to the stars. And it all turns out we both burned out 1,000 years before now. And every dream that I tried to show you, every tear cried out on my shoulder, wouldn't matter when it all turns out we both burned out 1,000 years before now, just like a supernova. driving back to Nova Scotia with every note that he wrote her, riding shotgun under the prairie skies. She said goodbye, Manitoba, and all the friends that told her it's alright to lose yourself in love sometimes. See, every heart she held before with one foot already out the door, but this time he caught her in the hallway and he said, I just spent the whole night thinking about my whole life, thinking how I can't find a reason to stay. There's nothing left to say. Life gone away. So he's on the next plane back to Sydney. Tired heart shaking within to see that California coastline fade. But he figured every ticket cost the same to a place you can't go. There's no use changing a heart you won't know. And a 15-hour plane's a good way to slowly grow the choices we made. See, every heart he held before with one foot just about to board, but this time she caught him on the runway and she said, I just spent the whole night thinking about my whole life, thinking how I can't find a reason to stay. There's nothing left to say. Life got in the way. It's life that spins us round. You're back in Nova Scotia, and I'm on the next bus over the border, or I'll go by water, whatever it takes. See, all this time I only wanted to hold you, and there's things I never told you, so please just listen while I try to say it straight. We could spend our whole life thinking about this one night, thinking that maybe we're both insane. Who's to say what's right, and who's to know what lies ahead? All know is these feelings won't change, and there's nothing left to say. We were both straight, but life got in the way.
I'm Tiana, you're watching Desert TV, and I am here with the one and only Daniel Champagne. Daniel, it is a pleasure to be chatting with you.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's amazing. I know we're kind of like neck deep in a very, very exciting performance at Moe's, but obviously you are no stranger to charming audiences with your amazing guitar chops and your acoustic wizardry. But tell me, how does it feel considering we've come from a few years of not being able to do a lot of this to now be able to be performing and be planning for more performances? How are you feeling?
It's a really good feeling. It definitely feels like we're on the up. Obviously, it's been a strange few years for everyone. I've been fairly lucky compared to a lot of performance, as in I've been able to play a lot of shows around Australia and New Zealand, but I am looking forward to getting these shows done and going overseas again soon.
Yeah, overseas is just that big thing that I think we've all had on our wish list, but it will actually come true, and it's nice to be able to see the musicians being able to do that. But tell me, I feel like performing seems to be almost ingrained in you. Like you grew up in a very musical household, I believe, and guitar was your weapon of choice very early on, but you were writing songs before you were even a teenager, which just makes me feel a little bit inadequate, but that's okay. But tell me, what was it about the guitar that really drew you into this? Because it's hard to imagine you on stage without a guitar at this point in your career, but what was it that just drew you in?
I think my first memory of anything in life was watching my dad's band rehearse in the backyard. We were living in Melbourne at the time. And obviously at that age, I was like 4 years old or something, and my dad was my biggest hero. So since he was playing the guitar, I was like, that's my instrument. That's what I've got to play. And so I would start kind of pinching his guitar when he wasn't around and, running around the house with some rock moves, pretending I could play, and then started to actually learn a bit myself. And yeah, I've just always felt very at home with that instrument. And now it's kind of like my best friend. I just travel all around the world with this one guitar.
Yeah. And I mean, what the incredible thing is there are a lot of us pretending to be rock stars in our living room, myself included, but you then went on to become dubbed like one of the finest guitarists of this generation. And the word prodigy is just thrown around repeatedly with you. Like when you're creating these works, I mean, you're now on, I believe, release number 6 at this point in your career. How do you create? Like what inspires you? Does it happen the same each time you do it, or do you kind of just evolve with what's happening in the moment? How do these songs come to life?
I think with inspiration, it always comes from the amount of travel that I do, which means a lot of people and a lot of different places and stories that come with those people and places. So that's kind of where the ideas for the songs come. The musicality of it often comes from killing a lot of time in band rooms or at airports or in hotels and stumbling across different things at sound check. And the biggest issue for me is having time to put it together and really go to work on it. So I'm getting a bit better at sort of scheduling time off between tour dates and trying to get some songs down in that time.
Yeah, nice. I think downtime is the biggest enemy for a lot of creatives, so that's definitely a noble pursuit. But looking at your backstory as well, like not just where you came from, but what you have done in seemingly a short space of time, but literally a lifetime. I know that's the whole journey, but you've played Europe, America, the UK, Blues Fest, all of these things, and then you've toured with everyone from like shared stages with Jake Shimabukuro to like In Excess. Like amongst all of that, what's been like a big standout moment for you that's, whether it's good or bad, like is there a moment from on the road or on, what you're touring that's going to make the memoirs one day potentially?
It's hard. Nothing's springing to mind, but I'll always remember the first time I played guitar with Tommy Emmanuel, because as acoustic guitar player, particularly growing up in Australia, he really is kind of, I guess, the furthest down the road as far as guitar players go. And so I think just being such a guitar geek and growing up listening to everybody and really kind of loving everything that he did, when I kind of got to play with him and got to do shows together, that was pretty big. As the first time, it was just like, yeah, this is really something.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess that almost preempted, I wanted to know like who some of your real life guitar heroes were. Obviously he would be one of them, but who else would you count as a genuine guitar hero? Given you are one yourself now.
Thank you. A lot of them at different stages. So when I was in high school, I was really into like Eddie Van Halen and Jimi Hendrix. And when I was probably like learning the most myself, I was into definitely Tommy Emmanuel, also Jeff Lang, he's an Australian. Kelly Jo Phelps is another person who I later was able to meet and tour with. But I'm always I'm still, stumbling across guitar players that kind of blow my mind. And it's just a really cool instrument because everyone comes at it from a different angle and does their own thing. So you kind of am usually just sitting back, kind of having my mind blown and appreciating it, not really knowing what they're doing. There's a lot to do on the six strings.
Yeah, and it's exciting too, like you touched on, there's just a wealth of possibility out there and like there's so many people doing stuff now and there's more ways to see it. So it's really exciting and I feel like in reverse, like people will still keep discovering you as well in that respect as well. But tell me, on the topic of discovering music, what would we find on your playlists at the moment these days, given you're renowned for acoustic music, which I love as a way to kind of not pigeonhole you but describe it. Is there anything that might surprise your fans?
I'm probably a bit different to other music listeners where I just like discover an artist or get into an artist and that's all I listen to for a month. And that's a lot of listening because I'm always driving around a lot of hours. So the guy that I'm listening to at the moment, it seems quite random, but he's a guy from Brooklyn, a songwriter named Brian Dunn. And he's actually somebody that opened some shows for me years ago. I was in Michigan and Illinois and he was the opening act and I saw him at the time and we hung out and became friends and I knew he was good, but it wasn't until recently that I discovered how amazing his songs were. So he's kind of just been, his whole catalogue has been on repeat for the last month, I think.
Yeah. I like that though. I think it's a really good way to get to know people and rather than just hearing one song and moving on. So I think it's a good way to immerse yourself in it. And I guess on that topic too, obviously as someone who immerses yourself in that, what is in the kind of not distant future, not too distant future, like what's on the horizon for you at this point beyond these amazing shows that you're playing?
A lot of shows. Yeah, so this is the start of a big Queensland tour and I think there's 50 odd shows back in Australia. And then finally, if everything goes to plan and it looks like we're definitely on the up, I go over 2 months American tour, 2 months Canadian tour, then to Europe. And hopefully all that goes ahead. I have been working on an album that we're putting out sort of one song a month over the course of this year. So a lot of different things, but it's all just playing music.
Yeah, which is the most important thing, I think. And tell me, is there a particular difference with like Aussie Daniel Champagne fans and fans when you go overseas? Is there a noticeable difference? Are we a little bit more rowdy or is it generally a bit of a mix of everyone?
It's a good question. It depends. I think it depends a lot on the town. Yeah. So, Melbourne's different to Brisbane, different to somewhere out west where there's not many shows go through. I think that the biggest difference that I notice between shows are that if you're playing in the biggest centres, say like tomorrow night I'm playing in Brisbane, most of the people there will kind of know your stuff or they've been to shows before or have your albums just because there's a lot of things going on in Brisbane, so anyone on the periphery wouldn't be coming. Whereas if you turn up in like West Wyalong, for a random example, you'd probably get a lot of people. There'd probably be one person that knows a bit of my stuff and everyone else will kind of come to the gig because they're just curious that something's coming through town.
Yeah.
So I guess regional gigs and main centres are the big differences in audience.
Yeah, we'll bring it on more of that. And to close us out today, given you are on Desert TV, what is your desert island album that you would take with you and have for company on a desert island? That's
a good question. I mean, at the moment, I'm just so into these Brian Dunn songs. But I think as far as all time, like the album I probably listened to most would be the first Hendrix album, Are You Experienced? Probably that one. You can get a lot out of that.
Yeah, very decent. I would also probably have to have that in my, at least top 5. I don't know how I'll cull it down, but yeah, definitely a good pick. Well, amazing and an incredible show tonight and so many more exciting things to come. So thank you so much for chatting.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yay. Well, I'm Tiana and you're watching Desert TV.
Last night I dreamt that we were driving Highway 1. Last night I dreamt that we were driving Highway 1. See the prairies fading with the last rays of the sun. Last night I dreamt that we were driving Highway 1. Watch the moonlight rising through the pines. Watch the moonlight rise into the pines, wandering our hearts, babe, and rambling on our minds. Watch the moonlight rise into the pines. And people say the dreams grow old, the memories fade, hearts get cold. Whatever we may or may not become, I will always think of you driving down Highway 1. And I thought I saw you standing in the snow. I thought I saw you standing in the snow. Some drunken angel hollered, hurry up, we gotta go. I thought I saw you standing in the snow. We went searching for the northern lights. We were searching for the northern lights. You drunk on some dream while I was blinded by the sight of you under the northern lights. And people say the dreams grow old, the memories fade and the hearts get cold. Whatever we may or may not become, I will always think of you driving down Highway 1. In between the real world and our highway dreams, fade out like some closing scene set beneath these northern skies. It's from afar that I look back. The rearview mirror's good for that. So many faces just fade to black right before my eyes, but yours stays on my mind. People say the dreams grow old, the memories fade and hearts get cold. Whatever we may not have done, I will always think of you driving, your dark hair flooding, your green eyes dancing, the headlights winding, the trucks keep rolling by, we're running on stolen time, still singing soft. I got your hand in mine, talking about the future, every moonlight shooting straight through you. 100 K's from Vancouver, then our work here's done. But I will always think of you driving down Highway 1. Well, I'm stuck on you, like that heart-shaped tattoo that your mom always said that you never thought through. We all make mistakes when we're 22, and you know how she hates everything that we do. You still do it to spite her, but honey, I can't choose, I'm just stuck on you. like that heart-shaped tattoo. And you flash through my mind like these old plywood signs that litter the edge of these freeways I ride. I thought of so many jokes that I'm just dying to tell. And why can't you be lying in that next cheap hotel to recount all our stories and trade every crime as it's flashed through my mind like these old plywood signs. There's stars in the movies, there's stars in the skies. There's stars on the boulevard and there's stars in her eyes. It's the scars that get me. She lays at my side and says, no, you don't love me, but neither do I. So I'm colored in blue, like that heart-shaped tattoo that gets covered in denim when the winter blows through. And I can't kick a demon that looks like she does. No, I can't dodge a bullet that feels like her love. Pushed 100 doors open, but I still can't walk through. Girl, I'm stuck on you, like that heart-shaped tattoo. There's stars in the movies, there's stars in the skies. There's stars on the boulevard and there's stars in her eyes. It's the scars that get me when she lays at my side and says, no, you don't love me, but neither do I. Now every new place just marks how far I've traveled from you. Oh, and every new face just reminds me what yours could do. But darling, after all we've been through, can't just put this call down and start anew. Girl, I'm stuck on you, like that heart-shaped tattoo that your mom always said you never thought through. There's stars in the movies, there's stars in the skies. There's stars on the boulevard and there's stars in her eyes. But it's so hard to reach them, no matter what we do. So I just hope someday you'll see they shine inside you. If you're wondering what I'm up to, babe, well, there ain't nothing new, I'm still stuck on you, like that heart-shaped tattoo. town. I figured things would end like that. I guess you took the next plane westbound. I bet the world you won't look back. Sometimes I mean to call, take a plane and forget it all, or just lose myself out on the highway. Darling, I've been there before, when love leaves you wanting more. And I know you gotta find your own way. And the same thing that sets your heart on fire, it can keep you awake in the middle of the night. We were bound to stay, but we were born to run. Always trying to hold the setting sun. And someone said you found a new dream, and I can just see the fire in your eyes. I hope the whole world finally gets to see the same girl you've been to me all this time. And right then I mean to call, take a plane, forget it all, just lose myself on the horizon. Darling, I know that flame you're holding, and it felt the same. It's like life ain't nothing if not flying. And the same thing that sets your heart on fire, it can keep you awake in the middle of the night. We were bound to stay, but we were born to run. Always trying to hold the setting sun. And it's burning through the shadows, and it's burning through the dark. It's finally burned its way into your heart. Now you're learning as you travel. With each turn you lose your mind, trying to hold something between the sunlight and the dark. Oh, the same thing that sets your heart on fire, it can keep you awake in the middle of the night. We were bound to stay, but we were born to run. Setting sun. Starry night, paint your palette blue and gray, and look out on a summer's day, with eyes that know the darkness in your soul. Shadows on the hill, sketch the trees and daffodils, and catch the breeze and winter chill in colors on the snowy linen land. And now I what you try to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, how you tried to set them free. They don't listen, they do not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry night, flaming clouds that brightly blaze, and swirling clouds in violet haze, reflecting Vincent's eyes, shining blue, colors changing hue, morning fields weathered faces lined in pain and soothed beneath the artist's loving hands. And now I understand just what you tried to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, how you try to set them free. They don't listen, they do not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now, for they cannot love you, but still your love was true. When all is left inside, that starry, starry night, your life is lovers often do. This world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. Starry, starry night, portraits hung in empty halls, in frameless heads, on nameless walls, with eyes that watch the world, can't forget, like the strangers that you met, the ragged men in ragged silver thorn, the bloody heroes lay crushed and broken on the virgin snow. And now I think I know just what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still. But perhaps they never Perhaps they never My friend, I see only fear in your eyes. I feel like we're living in disguise, and I know that you don't really ever want to say why. Like a runaway train left in the night, the dreams stay naked in the headlights, with the memories that wake you in fright. It feels like all I could ever be was flying by my front door, and it's the same enemy trying to keep our hearts from wanting more. So much easier way back when we could chase whatever and try to pretend like we worked so hard to defend my stay. But you can only hold this moment for so long, with time trying to sweep it along. By the time we look back, it's already gone away. It feels like all I could ever be was flying by my front door, and it's the same enemy trying to keep our hearts from wanting more. All I could ever be was flying by my front door, and it's the same enemy just trying to keep our hearts from wanting more. Golden lights that I kept chasing down, it just became the dark nights that I'm left facing now. We are almost caving, we're always bound to fall. We never feel a thing until we felt it all there, tattooed in our skin and written across our wall. We never feel a thing until we felt it all, and we are caving in. We're always bound to fall. We never feel a thing until we felt it all there, tattooed in our skin and written across our wall. We never feel a thing until it felt like all I could ever be was flying by my front door, and it's the same enemy trying to keep our hearts hearts from wanting more. All I could ever be was falling by my front door, and it's the same enemy, just trying to keep our hearts from wanting more. I'm trying to keep our hearts from wanting more. Thanks for having me, everybody. Thanks to Mo's, this big veranda. Stick around, come say hi. Have a great night, guys. I look forward to coming back.